Hi guys! So I'm looking all disheveled today. I literally just came from my bed, just finished reading We Were Liars, and I never really have this strong urge to talk about books right after I read them. This one though, because there was so much hype on the internet about it, I had to, as soon as I finished, I was like, I'm not really sure where everyone else's opinions came from on this. Personally, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was awesome, but it has been getting very mixed reviews. And I'm just really curious as to why. I don't really understand why other people gave it such mixed reviews. And I'm not judging anyone's opinions at all. I am very just curious as to why this book got the mixed reviews that it did. Like, am I missing something? Was there a fault in this book that I did not see? I'm just curious. So here's the book, We Were Liars by Lockhart. I got it from the library, started reading it. I was completely immersed in the story from the beginning. I know people say that you should just go into it without knowing anything about it. I kind of disagree, just a little bit. If you are interested in knowing about it, no, I'm not going to tell you the plotline, but I am going to give you the setting and just a feel of where you're going to be when you're reading this book. So you're on an island with these 4 families. These 4 families have cooks, they have maids, and they are on this island every summer. They are an inherently rich family. Blonde, well-to-do, first world family. The kids within the story, obviously it's a YA novel, so there are kids, they are the main characters. They develop ideas about this first world that they live in, and how it is wrong, and how they can change it. When they are together on this island, they discuss their problems, and they talk, and they have amazing times. They have their summer adventures, but that's really it. They don't talk to each other outside of those summers. They are a family at that time, but really no other time, and I think that's relatable in itself. The first world things, maybe not so much, but it is the lavish world in which the story needs to be told. So that's your setting and a very vague view of your main characters. The story that is told is absolutely gorgeously written. Like I said, it's sort of a first world problem sort of a book, but at the same time, the characters know that it's a first world problem sort of a book, and they're very self-aware, and it's a gorgeously written book. I do love all the characters, and I do think that they are developed enough for the story that's being told. It just feels like every sentence that everyone had was very carefully chosen, and I loved that. I thought Lockhart did such an amazing job with this journey that he went on throughout all of these summers with all of these characters. I didn't really find it confusing at all in the writing. It was very in and out, and it did tell different stories, and it almost went in a different, like, parallel universe sort of a spin. I know this is going off track, and I know this is probably why people didn't want to say anything about the story at all at first, but just bear with me. It just told many stories at the same time, and the way that Lockhart intertwined all of these stories, I thought was very careful, very fragile, and very right. He did the right thing, and it really just made the story. Because it was first world, it reminded me completely of just a Gatsby world, which is funny because one of the characters' names is Gat. Just thinking about that sort of a world and that sort of a setting kind of helped set the tone for me. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this book personally. Those were the bullet points that I had. It had a nice tone. It was very carefully written. I really loved it. It was great. I thought it was great. It made me feel and think, and it did have shock value. It was kind of Fight Club in the way that it did it, because it gave you tiny clues to what happens in the end, but you didn't notice it until the very end, and you're like, oh my god, I missed all of these clues. I thought it was really fantastic, but I'm so curious to know why it got such mixed reviews. I'm so just blatantly curious. So please, if you're one of those people that gave it, 3 stars or below, or maybe even 4 stars and below, just tell me your faults with it, because I just really want to know, and I want to discuss, and I'm so curious. But if you also gave it, 5 stars or 4 stars, just tell me what you enjoyed about it too, because I did really enjoy this book, and I think the hype around it is very awesome. Just discussing this book is the right thing to do. I think this is a very discussion sort of a book. That is it. I will see you guys in my next video. I know I keep saying that I'm going to do a haul. I have all of these books surrounding me that's going to be a haul video. It will be filmed, I promise. Bye guys!